So just why did Aeroframe suddenly go out of business, leaving workers without jobs and a final paycheck? Tonight, a new lawsuit offers new insight.
Lake Charles' new city courthouse is nearing completion. I'll take you on a tour with one of the judges.
And it's happened again. A fake news story. A fake news story about DeQuincy gives the city unwanted national attention. 7 News at 6 starts now.
In high definition, sponsored by Nissan of Lake Charles. This is 7 News at 6.
Hello there, I'm Charlie Haldeman in for Cynthia tonight. It's been 1 month since Aeroframe closed suddenly, leaving hundreds without work or their final paychecks. Now comes the first lawsuits filed against that company. KPLC's Jaron Jordan has read through the pages of the lawsuit and is in the studio with more. Jaron?
Charlie, it's the first time we're hearing details of what may have led to Aeroframe's closure. Identical lawsuits were filed yesterday in Cameron and Calcasieu Parish on behalf of 12 former Aeroframe employees. Now, it's fairly brief and to the point, listing 4 claims the employees are suing on. But what's surprising is that it lists a second party as a defendant. In a 6-page petition, former Aeroframe employees are attempting to hold the company accountable for unpaid wages. But there's a twist.
There's actually another defendant here who we believe is responsible ultimately for the damages that they have suffered, including their last paychecks.
That defendant is listed in court documents as Aviation Technical Services, or ATS, an airplane maintenance company based in Washington State.
They got access to some confidential financial information, and they exploited that information to force Aeroframe into a premature closure because they weren't able to strike a deal.
The lawsuit claims ATS and Aeroframe were in talks regarding a possible merger or buyout. ATS entered into a 30-day look period, which gave them the chance to look at Aeroframe's confidential financial information. But when ATS and Aeroframe couldn't reach a deal and AAR came into the picture, the lawsuit claims ATS acted in retaliation, using the confidential information they had already looked into to derail any new plans.
Some deals that had been negotiated on some outstanding loans and things of that nature to go and then buy those loans from the banks and from the creditors of Aeroframe and to foreclose on those loans to accelerate the foreclosure in order to force Aeroframe when they knew Aeroframe couldn't make good on them at that time in the full amount.
The employees are suing on 4 claims, including violations of the Louisiana Last Paycheck Law, the Louisiana Civil Code, Article 2315, interference with contract, and unfair trade practices.
Because they weren't able to come to a deal, they tried to do something to disrupt another deal that would have been beneficial to a lot of people, employees, vendors, Chenault.
Now, the lawsuit also claims the deal between Aeroframe and AAR was, quote, anticipated to have resulted in a smooth continuation of the MRO business in Lake Charles and would have resulted in adequate funding to cover all outstanding expenses of Aeroframe, including wages, end quote. But the lawsuit goes on to say ATS purposefully disrupted that deal. Now, a lawsuit only presents the grievance of one party against others. It does not present both sides of the issue in question, so we reached out to ATS for comment on the filing of that lawsuit. They said they have no comment on the matter, and we're still waiting to hear from former Aeroframe CEO Roger Porter. At your service, Jaron Jordan, KPLC 7 News.
Thank you, Jaron. The city of DeQuincy again receiving some unwanted attention. This time it's thanks to a fake news website, and it's gone national. The site, known as National Report, claims DeQuincy has outlawed twerking. That's the controversial dance. Miley Cyrus recently made headlines going on at the MTV Awards show. The news story says anybody caught twerking will receive 30 days in jail. It's meant to be funny, but not everybody is laughing, especially DeQuincy's mayor.
Well, it makes it look like a bunch of hicks, you know, and that's not what DeQuincy's made of. You know, we got good people here, and you know, it's just, you know, the first couple of times it's funny. Yeah, you just laugh about it and go on about your business. But now, you know, okay, it's you go play your game with somebody else for a while.
As the mayor mentioned, this is not the first time the National Report website has used DeQuincy in a fake news story. It recently claimed DeQuincy gave guns and mandatory training to school children. Not true. Another fake news site claimed DeQuincy had banned Koreans. You can see more of our interview with Mayor Hennigan at KPLC-TV.com. Big changes possible for Highway 378 between Moss Bluff and Westlake. Today, DOTD workers surveying the road. DOTD is looking at 3 plans to expand the highway, including one that could impact Sam Houston Jones State Park. A public meeting on those plans. It's set for tomorrow night at the Westlake Madigan Center from 6 until 8. And right now, there's a public meeting in Lake Charles on the proposed extension of Nelson Road over the Contraband Bayou to West Sallier Street. That meeting started at 5:30 at the Spring Hill Suites Marriott on West Prion Lake Road. That'll continue until 7:30. KPLC's Erica Bivens will have details from that meeting tonight at 10 on 7 News Nightcast. We've told you about the worsening drought in southwest Louisiana, so it's no surprise there's a burn ban in effect now. Well, it will be in effect tomorrow. 3 o'clock is when that starts for Allen, Beauregard, Calcasieu, Jeff Davis, and Vernon parishes. The ban means private burning can only happen with permission from your local fire department or government. And the wait for the rain continues. Chief Meteorologist Wade Hampton is here with more on that. May not have to wait much longer.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. We're going to see rain coming back by the end of the week. We've got a few showers today, but today's rain is going to do nothing for the drought situation. Here's a look at the radar again. Just a couple of very isolated showers showing up on 7 Storm Vision HD. Again, these will not produce very much in the way of rain, but one little shower just south of DeQuincy, another near Carlos, and a couple other little showers near Roanoke and maybe just north of the Welsh area as well. Temperature-wise, 86 here in Lake Charles, but much warmer inland, 93 degrees for Fort Polk. It's cooled here in Lake Charles because the sea breeze has kicked in, knocking the temperature down a bit, plus that shower over in Carlos helping to knock the temperature down at least at the airport. Overnight tonight, we're headed into the 70s, but again, rain chances definitely on the increase later this week. We'll talk about the reasons why and maybe some tropical interaction there as well coming up in a few minutes. Charlie.
All right, thank you, Wade. The Calcasieu Parish School Board officially opened the College Street Vocational Center. Officials praised the center, which is already open with 250 students. They get training to prepare them for jobs, which will also help Southwest Louisiana in the upcoming economic boom.
The students of Calcasieu Parish are bused here from their high schools. They attend 2-hour blocks here during the day. Our anticipation is for next year to expand this again, to have an academic center so that a student in Calcasieu Parish that wants to work purely toward a career and technical track can come here and take their vocational and their academic courses and still go back to their school and be a student at their school.
Well, if you ever do business at Lake Charles City Court, you know how old and cramped the place is. So the judges, employees, and deputy marshals are counting the days until that new city courthouse opens. KPLC's Teresa Schmidt has a preview.
They're landscaping and putting on the finishing touches at the new Lake Charles City Courthouse. With its spacious courtrooms and counters to do business, it's a sight for sore eyes for those who've endured crowding where they are. Judge John Hood says the space was designed with the public in mind.
For anybody that has business with Lake Charles City Court does not need to get into an elevator or a stairwell. We have access to all departments on the first floor. The building is about $4.5 million. It's 22,000 square feet.
He says it's set up so that court business and workflow can be handled more easily and efficiently.
We've built the building so that it is durable and it will be here for 50 or 100 years and with the least amount of maintenance possible.
This new city courthouse has been in the making for about 17 years, and Judge Hood says they're proud of the fact that it's more or less paid for.
I wish to tell the citizens it will not cost them a penny. There's not a tax, there's not a millage, there's not a property tax. It is paid for entirely through court costs.
Plus, the Marshal's Office contributed along with a grant and financing from the Public Trust Authority. And the furniture was made by inmates.
The benches in the lobby, the podiums in the courtrooms, beautiful oak, golden oak, everything came from Louisiana Prison Enterprises, had great savings to the city of Lake Charles.
The new courthouse located at 118 West Mill Street opens next month. At your service, Teresa Schmidt, KPLC 7 News.
And we have more of our interview with Judge Hood and a longer look at the inside of that courthouse at KPLC-TV.com. The last day of operations at the old courthouse is set for Friday, October 4th. and the weekend of the 5th is moving day for court staff. Next, a local police jury buys a historic church.
And coming up on the Louisiana Traveler, we're here in DeRidder at the War Memorial Civic Center to dedicate a new weapons room.
It's on the block here.
What was once a storage room is now
The Beauregard Parish Police Jury buys the historic First Baptist Church in DeRidder. The parish closed the sale this afternoon. The Beauregard court system will move onto the property while the old courthouse is renovated. Parish officials say while they don't know what it will be used for after the courthouse is renovated, they know it will benefit the parish as it continues to grow.
It's on the block here with the rest of our parish buildings. So, the parish is growing, and we will definitely have a use for the property in future years. So.
The parish used money from the general fund to make that purchase. A new addition to the War Memorial Civic Center is creating quite a buzz in DeRidder. KPLC's John Bridges shows us a collection of historical weapons in this week's Louisiana Travel.